During the previous lecture, we have seen the two factors which are responsible for to cooperate with the various abiotic factors. The first two are nothing but to regulate and to conform, how the organisms are going to regulate and how they are going to conform with the abiotic factor. Now in this lecture we are going to see the remaining two components. These are nothing but the to migrate and to suspend. So first we will see to migrate. Migrate, the meaning of that word migrate is nothing but the temporary to and fro movement of organism is called as migration. So why it is called as temporary? Because the organisms are change their place for the short period. Okay, the period is short, that's why it is called as temporary. And why it is called as to and fro? Because the organisms go from their native place to the another place. Okay, they are living for the temporary period and they are coming back to their native places. Okay, that's why it is called as they are going and come back. That's why it is called as to and fro. So temporary to and fro movement of the organism, it is called as migration. Now migration is for various reasons. It may be for to hide from the extreme hot and cold conditions. Now here comes the temperature. So there are some organisms which are maintain their temperature constant. These are called as thermoregulate. And there are some organisms which are going to adjust according to the surrounding environment. It is called as thermoconform. So how it is going to regulate or it is going to conform? This is by migration and to suspend. The first migrations, the reasons for the migrations are: first reason is to avoid the extreme hot and cold conditions. Now if in some places if there is extreme hot conditions are there, so organisms there are going to escape from that place. So this is again called as migration. And when the temperature is going to maintain, then in such places the organisms are coming. So that one reason is there for the migration. The second reason and most important reason, it is nothing but the photo period. So most of the birds and the fishes are shows the migration. So photo period is very much important because for this certain photo period the organisms are going to change their places. Okay, so photo period is important for the gonad activity. The activity of gonad is dependent on the photo period. So some of the birds or the fishes, they require certain photo period or certain temperature for the reproduction. So that's why in their native places there are not such conditions are there, not favorable conditions are there. So they migrate from their native places where the favorable conditions are there. They are going there, then they are reproducing or they live there. And when in the native places temporary or the constant conditions are there, they are coming back to their native place. Okay, this is the second reason. And third reason, it is nothing but in search of food. That is again very much important part. In search of food. Okay, the birds are going from one place to another places. When if in their native places no available food is there or scarcity of food is there, then they are going to the favorable conditions where there is a plenty of food, or we are calling that after migration the young ones reproduction is there, the young ones are produced, and for that young ones the food is necessary. So they are again migrating where the food is there. So this is one of the reason for the migration. For example, when we are talking about the birds, there are plenty of the migratory birds come to the India. For example, there are some flamingos, there are some falcons, and there are some falcons, and these such type of birds are coming to the India every year. And there are a lot of national parks. There are several national parks in our country which receives such type of migratory birds. So in their native places not favorable conditions are there, but in India they realize that there is a favorable conditions for us for that temporary period. So in every year they come from their native places to the India for short period. In this period they live there, they reproduce there, and again when favorable conditions are there in their native place, they go back to their native places. This is called as migration. I wanted to introduce or to pinpoint one point that is nothing but the Bharatpur bird sanctuary, which is very famous for the migratory birds. Lot of migratory birds comes there, they settle there, and after the unfavorable conditions are going from their native places, they are going back to their. And the new name of the Bharatpur bird sanctuary is nothing but Keolado National Park. I have to mention it because migration belongs to the bird sanctuaries. Okay, because Bharatpur bird sanctuary is very much famous for the migratory birds. New birds are coming from the various countries in the Bharatpur bird sanctuary. And in case of the now coming to the second part, that is, or in case of fishes. Now birds are over, now coming to the fishes. In case of fishes are also migratory. So there are two types of fishes according to their migration, place of migration, from where to where they are going. So there are two types of fishes, that is called as catadromous and anadromous fishes. Catadromous fishes, these fishes are natively freshwater fishes, and when for their reproduction they are going to the seawater or marine water. They reproduce there and coming back to the freshwater. So they are natively freshwater. For the reproduction they are going to marine water. These are called as catadromous animals. Okay, the example of catadromous fishes is nothing but the eelfish. Now in same manner, that is anadromous fishes. Anadromous fishes are natively marine water or sea water, but for the reproduction they are coming to the fresh water. They reproduce there, then again they are coming to their native place. The example of such anadromous fishes is nothing but the hills. So this is called as migration, third part. And coming to the last part, that is nothing but the suspend. Okay, within that we are going to see the three major terms. In that, first is the hibernation. Now hibernation is also called as winter sleep. Okay, the example for that is nothing but the polar bears. The example itself explains you about the hibernation, because when there is extreme cold conditions, okay, in that condition that bears are going to hide with that conditions. Whatever the period is, up to 2 to 3 months, before that period they are going to eat lot of food. Okay, and in that conditions they are going into the grooves or hidden places where they can protect themselves, and they are going to sleep. That means they are not going to outside for that period. Okay, in that condition they reduce their metabolic rate. The development is there, but the rate is metabolism rate is very slow. Okay, the next concept is nothing but the estivation. It is same, it is also called as summer sleep. When there is extreme hot conditions are there are some organisms which needs to hide from that extreme hot conditions. So within that period they are going to hide. They eat lot of, they drink lot of, and they are going to hide. That is called as sleep. And when favorable conditions are there, in case of hibernation and estivation, they are coming outside and live their continuous life. But development is there, but the metabolism rate is reduced for that 2 to 3 months. And the third part is nothing but the diapods. It is somewhat different conditions. The examples are some zooplanktons. Okay, zooplanktons are the example of the dipods. Dipods means in the dipods the development is totally stopped or suspend. They suspend their development. Okay, that means the zooplanktons in the unfavorable conditions are going to dipods. Whatever the life stage is there when they are going to dipods, it is same where when they are coming out from the dipods. So they restrict or they stop their development in the dipods, that is in the zooplanktons. But it is not happens in case of hibernation and in case of estivation. The development is there, but the metabolism rate is slow. When they are going to hibernation or estivation, the life stage is different. When they are coming out from the hibernation or estivation, the life stage is different. But in case of dipods, the same stage is there for when they are going to dipods and when they are coming out from the dipods. So that is the difference. So either it is regulate or to conform, or either it is migrate or to suspend. In 4 cases, they are going to respond to the surrounding environment or various abiotic factors. And how it is possible? It is possible just because that all organisms are having different type of adaptations within them. So by that adaptations, they are able to regulate, to conform, or to respond to the various abiotic factors. That part of adaptation and about the adaptation we are going to see within the next lecture.